Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday, the 13th of December. So, quick look at the news today. Well, let's just go for today now. That's it, there we go. So, key news today. We've already seen the employment data coming out. It disappointed there on the count change itself. The average earnings still high at 6.1, but not climbing beyond the 6.1, which will be a bit of a relief at the moment. What we got today then, we got the Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking today at 11 for the US, so UK rather, to talk about the financial stability report. Okay, they were talking about relaxing things a little bit, so that might be the excuses why. So that's at 11. Then at 1:30 we've got inflation, the US inflation. This is the biggie today. It's particularly after PPI came in higher than expected. The questions are, what do you think is going to happen here? Well, if the inflation comes out higher than expected, I still think they'll go ahead with the 0.5% increase unless it's way higher than expected at the meeting later on Wednesday, tomorrow. Goodness. Morning, Michael. So I think that's still going to go ahead, but as planned. But it does put more pressure on for increasing into early next year as well, and that in itself may be a dollar positive move there overall. So just watch out for it. Whether it can hold on to it. It didn't hold on to the PPI gains on Friday. Whether it can hold on to it is another matter. Coming in less than expected, of course, today. I could see the dollar sell a little bit. It's a sort of a relief, and they don't want to be putting more and more increases. Or they don't want to increase the interest rate significantly more. So that might be a bit of relief in a sense, but we might get a bit of hawkish talk after that. Anyway, enough of that. That's pretty much it for today. It's all I'm looking for, and what effect could it have on the markets? Well, we could continue to be in these sort of choppy ranges until something comes from them. I think it might be Friday before we can get out of them. If you look at the euro dollar here, it's on the dailies, it's still in this very tight range. You come down to the 4 hourlies and you can see how tight it really is. It's sort of in a real old wedge. It is a wedge near the highs, and technically if it was to break to the highs, perhaps it's got some more upside. I'm still reasonably bullish on the euro, but at some stage it might just run out of steam and continue to consolidate as opposed to anything else. So coming down the time frames here, we've already through the daily pivot. Maybe if this can push through the rest of the morning, we could be running up to the R1 there, and that would come in pretty well with the prior highs here around that sort of area. Obviously a break the opposite way, break back below that pivot, well, the S1 looks like a better opportunity, but my preference is the upside. Okay, let's just switch markets here. Let's go into the pound. So the pound is continued being positive overall, but it's still sort of retracing quite steeply at times, and okay, it's got higher lows, higher highs through this period and looking reasonably positive, but mostly yesterday it spent just consolidating, particularly through the US session. We're already within a smidgen of the R1 here, and the body highs there, the previous body highs there, it might have topped out for the morning, and as I said, we might just end with more consolidation. I'm not massively bullish on these markets either way. I don't expect a lot of movement, is what I should say. Dollar yen, that had been doing pretty well. It's struggling on the short term, trying to put a high. Actually, I think it's actually just done it, put a higher low in here. Now it may just be the move's over, but I'm not totally convinced on this at the moment. It's back to its daily pivot now, but bouncing off of that, and it could be we can just see it continue pushing up here. But again, I expect it to chop for, if not first thing this morning, from midday till the news comes out. Aussie dollar Just go to the dailies here. It's sort of softer of the markets. It did start breaking down yesterday, and it was the most bearish yesterday, but has since managed a positive shove here, and it's not far away from its daily R1. It might just sort of run into that and choke. We do really see these markets moving opposite directions post news, so post 8 o'clock, big pardon, and post news. Consolidation here on the CAD continues. It's a little bit out of favour. It's been so softest yesterday against its peers. It has pulled back a little bit against US dollar overall. In the sort of intermediate picture here, that weekly pivot, there's a bit of a draw to it. It might manage its way down. Of course, if the data comes out soft for the US, we could see that push down quite quickly. In a bit of no man's land here, hasn't quite caught the daily pivot, and it's not quite down to the S1, but I expect this to do pretty much what we saw yesterday there for the majority of the period and chop. Okay, that's pretty much it on the currencies. Let's quickly change across. He says clicking the wrong button. There we go. And a quick look at gold. It's more of the same really. Gold, it's still ranging here. Sold yesterday, bearish sort of looking bars there. Pivot swing to the downside, but again, anything can happen with this news coming out. I quite like this, the way it's running southbound, lower highs coming through, but that's not to say it won't completely turn the opposite way. It's looking soft on the short time frame. Crude oil, so Western Texas cash market getting a bit of a bounce yesterday. There was comments that Russia's reducing production or distribution somewhere of. I can't remember where it was from, but that's probably had a little knock-on effect into the market at the moment. But weekly pivot not far away there, and daily pivot below as well. Might be if it starts rolling over later. Could be a move down to those as targets. Right, quick zip through the indices, and the consolidation continues really with the CSI 300. The Nikkei, well, it did gap up a little bit there and subsequently closed most of the gap, but it's still well, looks like it wants to run to the upside there. It's starting to push up a little bit more positive than it had been. And the Nifty 50, I was looking at this bull flag. Again, it's not maybe ready today, but might be tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but it's certainly looking positive. Looking at US markets, S&Ps here, well, again, a bit of a positive sort of stance yesterday. This could be affected quite big time coming into the inflation data out later, so just bear that in mind. And then we've got the Dow Jones consolidated where it is at the moment. Again, positive day, bullish engulfing maybe again, but looking at any of these at this stage, they're all pretty risky in terms of the news out before the markets open, so I'd watch out for that and wait and be patient if you're not in trades. Moving closer to home, and just a quick look at the DAX here. So the DAX, it's trying to do something, but again, it's largely in chop when you look at it on this week and 4 hours. And for me, it's best avoided when it's like this because it can move quite quickly against you, with you. So not at all good. Okay, I'm going to end it a little bit shorter today. I've got to fly, so I'm going to wish you a great day's trading. As I said, be really careful today. It may be just well worth waiting for the news to be out. We have got a busy week in news. and the reaction on the markets may be just hold back until the news is out, and then we'll see the reactions. Have a great day, trade safely, bye for now.